Samsung Galaxy Z, Fold 8 leaks are coming in fast, and one detail is grabbing everyone's attention first: weight. Multiple reports now suggest Samsung is targeting just 200 grams for the Galaxy Z Fold 8, and if that number is real, it could be one of the biggest quality-of-life upgrades foldable fans have been asking for since day one. Because let's be honest, foldables are incredible when you open them up. But the moment you put them in your pocket or try to use them one-handed, the bulk becomes the deal-breaker. That's why this rumored 200 retarget matters so much. It's not a spec sheet flex. It changes how the phone feels every single day. So in this video, let's break down what the latest Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 rumors are claiming. A new aluminum-heavy build to shed weight, a creaseless inner display, a tougher hinge, a bigger battery, upgraded cameras, and even a wider Fold 8 variant that could finally fix the narrow cover screen complaint. Now, quick disclaimer, this is still leak territory. Samsung hasn't confirmed the Galaxy Z Fold 8 specs, the final weight, or any of these upgrades. But the picture forming from these reports is interesting, and it suggests Samsung is focusing on the exact things people criticize most about foldables: portability, durability, and the crease. Let's start with the headline claim: Samsung aiming for 200 grams on the Galaxy Z Fold 8. For context, the previous model is often listed around 215 grams, and that difference might sound small on paper, but in hand, it can be massive, especially on a phone that's already wider, thicker, and more complex than a standard slab phone. If Samsung can truly bring the Galaxy Z Fold 8 down to 200 green, it would put it much closer to the comfort level of traditional flagship phones, and that's how foldables go mainstream. Not by being futuristic, but by being practical. So how does Samsung supposedly get there? The leak points to a build change, more aluminum in the construction, and a redesigned approach to the body structure. That's interesting because aluminum is strong, relatively light, and easier to engineer at scale than exotic materials. If Samsung is optimizing the frame, hinge housing, and internal structural components with a new aluminum layout, it could explain how they reduce weight without making the phone feel fragile. And that leads to the next big rumor: durability upgrades, especially around the hinge. The hinge is the heart of any foldable. It's also the part people worry about the most. Dust, long-term wear, stiffness over time, and that, will it survive 2 years? Anxiety. Samsung has been improving hinge reliability every generation, but the Fold 8 is rumored to take another step with a reinforced hinge mechanism. If Samsung can make the hinge tougher while also making the phone lighter, that's exactly the kind of engineering improvement that doesn't look flashy in a keynote but completely changes long-term user confidence. Now let's talk about the feature that could redefine the Fold series experience: the creaseless display rumor. One of the most consistent complaints about foldables, yes, even in 2026, is the crease. Some people don't care, but for others, it's the one thing that stops a foldable from feeling like a true premium display. According to these reports, Samsung may be using dual-layer ultra-thin glass to drastically reduce, or potentially eliminate, the visible crease on the inner screen. If that's true, it's huge. Not just visually, but psychologically. A crease-free or nearly crease-free foldable feels like the technology has matured. It feels like a real tablet you can fold, not a compromise you're tolerating for the cool factor. And it's not only about appearance. A new dual-layer UTG approach could also improve durability over time. Less stress concentration at the fold point, better resistance to micro-wear, and potentially a more consistent touch feel across the panel. The leak also suggests a brighter, more color-accurate display. That would line up with where the market is going, because foldables aren't just for multitasking anymore. People use these inner screens for everything: streaming, gaming, reading, editing photos, spreadsheets, and full-on work. If Samsung is polishing the Fold 8 display experience with better brightness and accuracy, it pushes the Galaxy Z Fold 8 closer to being a true main device for power users. But the real question is, if Samsung improves the inner display, what about the cover display? Because the other long-running complaint about the Fold line is the narrow cover screen. It works, but it doesn't always feel natural for quick typing, fast scrolling, or normal phone tasks. And that's where another rumor comes in. A wider Galaxy Z Fold 8 variant reports claim Samsung could introduce a wider display option that feels more like a traditional smartphone when folded while still delivering the big tablet-style screen inside. If Samsung actually offers a Fold 8 wide edition or wider variant globally, it could be one of the smartest moves they've made because it addresses the exact reason many people choose other foldables: usability when closed. Now let's shift to battery life, because this is where foldables have to work harder than normal phones. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 is rumored to jump to a 5,000 mAh battery, up from around 4,400 mAh in the previous generation. And that's not a minor bump. That's a real increase that could translate into noticeably better screen-on time, especially when you consider how power-hungry a large, high-refresh inner display can be. If Samsung pairs a bigger battery with efficiency improvements, whether from a newer chipset, display power optimization, or better standby tuning, the Fold 8 could finally stop feeling like a carrier charger phone and start feeling like an all-day flagship. And yes, the leak also mentions fast charging and wireless charging continuing, which is expected. But the bigger story is simply endurance. Foldables can be amazing, but if battery anxiety is part of the ownership experience, it keeps the category niche. A 5,000 mAh Galaxy Z Fold 8 would be Samsung saying, "This is a real daily driver, not a tech demo." Now let's talk cameras, because fold phones often get criticized for not matching the ultra-level camera setups, even when they cost just as much or more. Leaks suggest the Galaxy Z Fold 8 will keep a 200MP main camera, and that's a serious flagship-level spec. On top of that, the rumored setup includes a 50MP ultra-wide camera and a 12MP telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom. If those numbers are accurate, it sounds like Samsung is balancing versatility rather than just chasing one headline lens. A strong main sensor, a high-resolution ultra-wide for landscapes and group shots, and a 3x zoom that's actually useful for portraits and everyday zoom shots. And then there's the software side, AI-powered image processing. Samsung has been leaning hard into AI photography. Better digital zoom, improved low light, faster motion capture, sharper detail, and smarter scene optimization. The rumor suggests more advanced AI processing for the Fold 8 camera system, and that matters because megapixels alone aren't what make photos great. The processing pipeline is where Samsung can separate a good camera from a consistently great camera, especially in tough lighting or fast-moving scenes. So if the Galaxy Z Fold 8 really combines a flagship-grade camera stack with stronger AI processing, it could finally silence the argument that fold buyers are paying premium money for compromised cameras. Now here's another interesting leak angle: production numbers. Reports claim Samsung plans to manufacture around 3.5 million units of the Galaxy Z Fold 8, compared to about 2.5 million units of the Galaxy Z Flip 8. If that's true, it signals something important. Samsung may be prioritizing the Fold line more than ever, treating it as a true flagship category rather than a niche experiment. Higher production typically suggests Samsung expects stronger demand, better yield rates, and more confidence in the product's mass-market readiness. And if Samsung is really going all in on a lighter build, improved durability, a reduced crease, and a better cover screen experience, it makes sense that the company would scale up. So what does all this mean for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 overall, if these leaks are accurate? The Galaxy Z Fold 8 won't be a radical redesign. It'll be a refinement year, but a meaningful one. And sometimes, that's exactly what a product category needs, because the best foldable phone in 2026 won't just be the one with the wildest concept. It'll be the one that feels normal to use, lighter in the pocket, more durable in real life, better battery for long days, a crease that's not constantly in your line of sight, and a cover screen that doesn't feel like a compromise. And if Samsung hits that rumored 200 target, that alone could be the moment where people who've been curious about foldables finally say, "Okay, now it makes sense." Now I want to hear from you. If the Galaxy Z Fold 8 really launches at 200 grams with a crease-free display, a bigger 5,000 mAh battery, and a wider cover screen option, would that be enough for you to upgrade? Or do you want Samsung to go even bigger with a full design overhaul and faster charging too?